Hello, everybody. I am Teddy Jenkins, as always, except this is a different podcast. And I'll let my co host here explain how the podcast works. You don't know him, you don't know if you love him. Say hello to my good friend, CP Hicks.
Hey,
Fake applause, fake applause, fake applause.
eh, pretend to like me. All right. Um, so basically, this podcast is we picked certain
Stories,
stories, yes, certain stories from entertainment
news,
articles,
news, yes.
and so we're gonna discuss them. Discuss,
You said
discuss
disgust.
them.
You said disgust them.
Well, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are pretty disgusted with how Assassin's Creed is gonna be in 2017.
Yup. This is the first time that's happened. You're like since Assassin's Creed 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Like since Assassin's Creed 2, there's been uh a yearly Assassin's Creed game every year.
Yeah,
Dude, do you remember when Assassin's Creed 2 came out?
dude, I have Assassin's Creed 1.
Dude, I actually don't have it anymore. I don't remember what happened to it, but dude, I played like every Assassin's Creed game for such a long time. Up until Black Flag. Um
So you haven't played like Syndicate?
I have not played Syndicate. I have thought about getting it. I might get it. I'm not sure. The Jack
Dude,
the Ripper DLC thing looked pretty cool though.
wait, what?
You know, the Jack the Ripper DLC that came out, where you gotta hunt
Uh,
down and you also get to play as Jack the Ripper.
all right, let's see.
And don't worry about it. So what do you think about the fact that Assassin's Creed is getting pushed back till 2016?
Honestly, I should probably pick my words wisely, but I honestly don't really.
Dude, if only you could see what's happening in Gang Beasts right now. This is amazing.
But I mean, like, honestly, I don't really. It doesn't really matter to me
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not really like the biggest fan of Assassin's Creed.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about it?
Uh, I I will say I think it's a good thing because it's better to I always think it's better to wait for a developer to wait rather than hey let's just push this thing out as fast as we can and then it be kind of
Bad.
crummy and yeah, like okay that's exactly what happened to Arkham Knight this year. You remember the PC port was just awful and they actually had to pull it off of Steam because it was so messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't want to be the developer that has something like that happen to them.
Yeah.
You know, like it's bad when that happens to you. So I think it's smart of Ubisoft to say, we're gonna
Yeah, I get
wait
what
and
you
make
mean.
sure it's perfected first, rather
Yeah, I
than be
see what you
like,
mean.
it's always better to wait than give in an unfinished product. It really always is.
Yeah,
Because I
I
mean,
see what you mean.
really think about it. What's a year? What's a year in video games? There's gonna be other video games that are gonna come out, and you're gonna forget about Assassin's Creed till it actually comes out. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
it's not like it's gonna ruin the world or something. I mean that's what I mean it's pretty much what the answer for all video games, but you know. Um, why don't you say what the next uh, topic story is? Any day.
Oh, say again?
Yeah. Say pull up. Why don't you bring up the next topic?
Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear. The lack of Rey action figures from Star
Okay.
Wars.
Now the only reason this is here is because for some reason I don't know why I don't even know how I got there. I was ultimately just looking at news like movie news stuff, and somehow I ended up on Vanity Fair, and there was this article saying J.J. Abrams comments on lack of Ray toys or whatever. And so I want you to guess first of all what you think this article is about, like what
Mm-hmm.
the story is here. what the story with this whole thing is. What do you think it is? I just want you to guess before I tell you.
Are they still making them? Like,
Well, okay, I guess I should probably just tell you because it's kind of a weird thing. So Hasbro, which I think we all know, Hasbro, the toy company that makes pretty much the biggest toy brands in the world. You know Hasbro, right?
yeah,
Okay. Well, they have just recently now released, after many complaints, they have released some Rey toys for the new Star Wars movie. And a bunch of people were complaining and using the hashtag Where's Rey as a way to complain about this. So, yep, I knew you were going to do that. So, here's the idea. All right, is that it was that same kind of topic. So I don't know if you remember this story, but there was a big deal about when the last Avengers movie came out, how there weren't really any Black Widow or Scarlet Witch toys out there, and a bunch of people complained, saying, "Well, what about the little girls who wanna play with the girl toy and whatever," and so that was a big deal when that happened, and now this is kind of becoming a big deal. I just want to say that here's the I pretty much I'm curious about I'm gonna say what I think the reason for this is, and I'm curious on your opinion of what you think about this is. I think that most of the time, whenever people complain about something, it's because they're looking at it from a one-sided view of things. So, for instance, if you're just looking at this as though you're the consumer and you're like, well, where's all the Rey toys? Of course you would be upset, but you got to look at it from both sides. Otherwise, you don't have the complete picture. So you got to look at it. Okay, look at it if you're a big businessman and you're deciding what toys are going to be out there and that sort of thing. Think about the brand that they're and this goes for the Scarlet Witch and Black Widow toys as well as the Rey toys. That most of the people, the majority of the people buying these toys are little boys, like under the
yeah,
age of 10 or whatever. I'm just guessing at those statistics, but I think most people could agree that that's
yeah.
probably the statistics of it. So what they're doing is they're going, okay, since most of our consumer base is boys, we'll sell like 99% boy stuff. And it'll be Captain America and for Marvel and Iron Man and people like that. And then for Star Wars, we'll have like Kylo Ren, Finn, and Poe Dameron, and
Yeah.
all those characters, because they're selling to boys. They're not selling to girls as much because they're not as big of a consumer base. And like for instance, okay, that's why, like if you go to a Disney store, that's why you
Mm-hmm.
don't. That's why it is that there aren't like there isn't a line of Disney princes. There's a line of Disney princesses, and those are mostly for the girls because mostly girls buy those. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're marketing to their audience. Like it's just a fact that that's what they're doing, because they're not looking. I think here's what people don't often get about businesses is that a business is not trying to make you happy. A business's goal is to make money. So if they can make money and not please anybody, they do that. They wouldn't care if, okay, for instance, Hasbro then started making Rey toys after this. Well, the primary reason, and they said that their reasoning for not producing any Rey toys early on, or maybe I guess it was just earlier on. I think they were planning on doing it at one point. Was because it would be a spoiler for her to be in it, because she's the Jedi and everything and stuff like that. Which it kind of is, because if you're making a toy with Rey and she's got a lightsaber, then you're gonna know. You're gonna know the entire big reveal of the movie. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, because that's a big thing in the movie.
Why don't
So
you just sell the lightsaber separate?
that's true, but and they a bunch of people said that that's a terrible, that's not a good reason at all. That you're just trying to cover up the fact that you made a mistake and whatever. But I mean, I think and here's another thing: when did the world get so bored that we all have to argue about toys?
I don't know.
Because I mean, really, it's just a toy. Like the 10-year-old that wants the toy is not going to be like, well, where's all this stuff? We need to create a petition for to make Hasbro force them to make more Ray toys. A 10-year-old's not going to do that. A 10-year-old's just going to be like, okay, like okay,
That sucks, but
name one
whatever.
time in which there wasn't a character like a toy that you wanted and it just didn't exist and you complained about that.
Hmm.
Can you? I don't think I can ever remember once being like, oh, they don't have this character, therefore, you know, I'm upset and angry. I think as a kid, you're just like, well, if they don't make it, they don't make it. That's just it. Like there's nothing else that can be done. You know, like I
Hmm.
think that's how most children think, is that when something just isn't available, then it's not available. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I see what
I
you
mean,
mean.
like it's different when it's like they make it, but they just don't have it at the store. It's different in that case, but in the circumstances of they just don't make it at all, then I don't think a 10-year-old. I think a 10-year old is just gonna move on immediately. I don't think a 10
Yeah.
year old is gonna sit there and complain about something that's impossible to have. And I mean, like I said before, they're marketing to their audience. They're not marketing to the, what do you think it is? Maybe like 20% of girls who buy Star Wars toys?
Um,
10, 20, 30 maybe?
kind of.
30 at max, I would say. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Because I mean, and then J.J. Abrams came out there and said it's preposterous was the word he used.
Well, like,
That they're and I guess, and like I said, from the consumer perspective, it makes sense to be angry. But that, like I said, it's all about, you can't have a one-sided opinion about something. You can't just make an opinion from only looking at it at your side of the camera or your side of the glass.
yeah.
You know, like I think that if you do that, you're kind of just not thinking very clearly in that circumstance. I mean, you're really, if you want to have a real opinion about something, I think you have to do research on it and understand the background. For instance, okay, that Vanity Fair article. If they really were curious and if they really wanted to make a real article about it, they should have interviewed somebody from Hasbro and been like, okay, dude from Hasbro, what's the deal with this? Why is this? Why are there no Ray toys? In which case, both sides would get to share their opinion, not just one.
Well, basically, they just want to get more profit, and the boys are gonna be like, I don't want to.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
don't
think,
want to buy a female action figure,
yeah, I mean, it's the same. Okay, for instance, it's the same idea of
even though
in
I
a,
totally own one.
but it's the same idea of like like a in like a video game. All right, when you have the option to make a character in a video game, are you more often going to choose a guy or a girl?
Actually, funny you'd
There
say
are
that.
there are like okay, there are like 20% of people would go, I want to be the gender that's the opposite of me, because I either it's various reasons, either because I don't want to have to look at a dude all day, or they're like it's different than just being a dude because they're every other character is a dude or whatever.
Actually, in Saints Row, I've played like Saints Row 3. I played like half the campaign as a female.
Oh yeah, but I just mean in most of the time in a video
Oh
game.
yeah, most of the time I'll play as a male because I'm a male in real life.
Yeah, because most of the time we choose a character of how we see ourselves. We choose what we like about things. So we think, well, I'm a guy, so I'll choose a guy character. You know, like I think in most cases people would choose guy characters if they're a guy, and a girl character if they're a girl.
Hmm.
Um, but I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's just the
It doesn't matter if you're a female who wants to play as a guy and then a
yeah. I mean,
guy who wants to
I
play
mean,
as a girl. It's your game.
yeah. I mean, it's like for instance, it's not like I go, why isn't there a guy character in Tomb Raider? Why isn't there a guy Tomb Raider that I can play as?
Because
I don't.
might I just say, because Lara Croft is always like the main character in those.
Yeah, and so here's the thing. There's no guys that complain about that. So why is it that in certain other things, in certain other video games, things like that, women often complain about how come there's no girl character in this or whatever. If there's games dedicated entirely to girls. There's things there are many media sources that have just women in them. You
Hmm.
know, and here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with having a strong female character, but don't force it. You know, like if you want to have something. Okay, for instance, all right, let's take a movie like Kill Bill. Okay, Kill Bill, I think probably has a really strong female character in it. Right? Have you seen Kill Bill before?
Yes.
Okay, in that the bride is one of the best. Is a great character, I think, and is really amazing and super awesome. But I don't go, well, there should be more male characters or there should be more female characters because it's a movie about a female. It's not like, you know, there needs to be it have a movie or any kind of media and be what it you want it to be. Don't be like it needs to have a little bit of everything because that's not the way the world is. Like you're okay. For instance, if in Kill Bill she had like a team of people that were going around helping her, and like it was like one black guy, one Asian woman, one
Hmm.
whatever. If it, like I can't stand when it's TV does that the most. Where it's like a
Yeah.
checklist of characters. Like, okay, you got to have one black guy, one Asian guy, one woman. It's and it feels it's so obvious too. Like that they do it. They cast in a way so that way it's diverse as possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't it's not that I don't like diversity or anything, but I want it to be natural. I want them to choose, like for instance, I don't necessarily know in Star Wars, and I'm not saying that this is a bad thing. I think that the last Star Wars movie was great and fantastic. And I thought the idea of having a female be the Jedi was awesome. I just was thinking I really hope they didn't choose that just so that it could be a
Just
female.
because
Yeah,
it could be a yeah.
yeah. Because then it's like, well, then what's the point? What? So it's like so you can have a social justice checklist.
Yeah.
Like I don't think there should people should have to worry about making sure that everybody
Like they
has
should
their
they
own.
should cast completely based off of talent.
Yeah, like that. I mean, that's always the thing. And you know what? I mean, it's same with in everything. You should never, ever, ever choose people based off of what they look like or the way like gender or race. I don't think that you should ever base a decision off of that unless it's something like I don't know. Maybe you for some reason specifically need a black person, for a movie, and like you specific like there's a reason that you need a black character. Like for instance, you're filming a movie that takes place in about in I don't know the hood, the downtown area or the hood or something like that, and it's like it's it would be weird in that case if it was all just white people, you know, like if it's like a gangster movie and it's nothing but white people and it's in like L.A., then I suppose that it would make sense to cast black people for specifically for race. I mean, like to specifically cast someone just for race. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But I mean, I think in other cases, Like, like, okay, for instance, in Star Wars, in the last one, did you notice that their cast was extremely diverse, like as diverse as possible?
Yeah, yeah, I
And
did.
I kind of, and I heard J.J. Abrams say, I wanted to make a movie that would represent the world that is watching it. And I understand that, and I think that's a fine answer to give. But it's one of those things where I just hope he's not like, okay, let's find the best black actor that we can find to play Finn, rather than, hey, let's find the best actor that we can to play Finn, because there's a big difference between those.
Yes.
Like it's, I really, because then I think that's inequality versus equality, because then it's like you're not saying who's the best out of everybody. You're going, who's the best out of this small category of people, this smaller category of people. But anyway, I guess we've said pretty much all that we want to say. Is there anything else that you want to add?
Nothing. Nothing.
All right, you ready to move on to the next topic then?
Yes.
All right, what's up?
Oculus Rift's price has been released.
Yes. So can you look this up just to confirm? I believe it's $600 is what it is.
What?
And okay, look at now that includes, I believe, an Xbox One controller, the headset, and look it up because I can't remember, but it's not just the headset that is all. Otherwise, that would be because I knew it was going to be pretty. We all knew it was going to be pretty expensive. I
Yeah,
mean,
pretty
it's
expensive, but
virtual.
$600 to be able to actually. All right. Um. So basically, I believe that what's in the box? Rift includes the headset with built-in headphones and mic, sensor, and Xbox One controller. The controller is perfect for a variety of games, including Lucky's Tale, the amazing virtual reality platformer developed by Playful that we're including
Okay, okay,
free with
okay.
every Rift.
You don't need to read the whole thing. Anyway, so you said headphones, headset.
Yeah,
Uh,
I believe that for $600 the whole thing is for it. The whole
yeah.
thing is gonna be shipped to you.
So okay, so do you think an accurate? That's a legitimate price for that?
Um,
Because it's a hard thing to say because it's a product that's never been released before commercially. Like I
I
couldn't
don't
tell
know.
you I couldn't tell you what other VR headsets go for. Because there aren't really mass markets of VR headsets. This is kind of the
Yeah.
first big mainstream AAA headset for VR, which is I gotta say, I mean, the technology's amazing, you know, but I think it's a matter of I think it'll really come down. The only way we'll really know is if when the other companies their headsets, like for instance uh the Sony's Morpheus for PlayStation 4 comes out, and when so
What?
oh, you didn't know that PlayStation 4 has its own VR thing that's gonna come out, called
Oh,
Morpheus. Yeah, and then there's also
Morpheus.
Morpheus. Yeah. Oh, I just got it. That's from like
Yeah.
that's a reference to the Matrix now. Okay,
Okay. All right.
now I get it. That's actually very clever. Morpheus. I should have known that from the very beginning. I didn't get
Okay.
that. Anyway, and also
Uh,
Valve's think they're making for Steam, which is the Vive, which
what?
looks, yeah, they're making their thing. Apparently is supposed to be really amazing. They had a big demo at, I think it was at either like
The
Gamescom or, yeah,
Googling. That's
yeah. It looks interesting. Um, and then Microsoft has the whatever it is, the HoloLens or something like that, which I think will be the most successful because that's augmented reality versus actual just
whoa.
pure
The
on
controller looks so weird
what for.
for the Vive.
Does it have a controller? Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, it does. I forgot about that.
dude, Google it. It
Yeah,
looks
yeah, yeah. What?
way. Huh?
Oh, nothing. Um, but what do you think? Do you think it's worth the price? You think it's worth the money? I think that's the best thing to say is that it is something that will put you into a world, and we haven't used it before. We've never,
This.
tested it or anything like that. Do you think that a device that would basically make put you in something like Tron,
Uh,
uh, is that is
uh,
that is having a virtual reality experience for $600 and you can use it whenever you want? Do you think that's worth the money?
yeah.
You
I
think
believe
so?
it would be worth it because when you put it in those terms, like puts you into something like Tron, that'd be pretty cool.
Well, I mean, okay, I may have exaggerated a little bit because the
Yeah.
technology isn't as good as in the Tron
An
movie.
arcade machine.
Yeah, as an arcade machine that puts you into a video game, which really doesn't make any sense. But most movies don't make sense in reality. Um, I think that also you got to count in the fact that it comes with an Xbox One controller, which costs like what $50, I think.
Hmm.
So I mean that ultimately the headset itself costs about, and you also get headphones, which could be like worth $100. I don't know. I mean it's I think ultimately thinking about it, it would the headset itself, just the VR thing, it would is probably costs about
And it also gives you
250.
a microphone
Oh,
with
does it?
yeah,
Okay. Then maybe like the headset itself is just 250,
and a sensor.
or maybe not like 250, more like
It
400.
also it also gives you a sensor.
That's true. I would say okay, including all that stuff, I would say that's probably worth it. That's probably worth six
Yeah,
hundred dollars.
like buying them. It's kind of like the Steam sales. Like you can buy all the Saints Row stuff for like at the same time for less than instead of separately.
I should do a walkthrough series of Saints Row 4. Maybe.
Everyone knows how the game ends.
Yeah.
That game's
Years old, yes, I know.
like like a year or two,
Yeah. Um.
but it's still fun.
Yeah. All right. So I guess we'll move on to the next story now.
All right.
What you got?
Daredevil season 2.
Yes. Okay. Did you watch season 1?
No,
Dude,
I've never watched it.
do you have Netflix?
Yes.
Then right after this, watch Daredevil and watch Jessica Jones, because both of those are amazing. They are. If you like Marvel, then you'll love those shows. Or
Hmm.
even if you don't like Marvel, still watch them because they're still good anyway. Um, the teaser trailer though does not show much because well, okay, the announcement is a big teaser trailer that they did, and also the announcement for the date that it's returning. So the date is like March 21st, I believe, which is not too far away. But the teaser trailer doesn't really show or give any idea of anything. So I can't really talk about it because it's basically just a bunch of portraits in a church of stuff that Daredevil has done, and then at the end it shows the big Punisher skull, and that's basically it. And so yeah,
The
nothing much.
Punisher skull.
Yeah, because the Punisher's in the second season,
Oh, okay.
played by the dude who played Shane in Walking Dead. If you've ever seen
Ugh.
Walking Dead, he might actually be good in this though. It'll depends, but I don't know. I'm thinking he'll be good. Anyway, what else you got? Anything?
And our final topic is George Lucas back.
Oh boy. Okay. Oh gosh. Okay. This is. I have a question for who is petitioning this. Like who is like, you know what, the new Star Wars movie, it would have been much better if George Lucas had been there. You know,
Yeah.
like was anybody thinking that? I
Um.
wasn't. I mean, I was just thinking, man, this is such a good movie. And it's so amazing that J.J. Abrams did all this. He's such a great director. That was like the only thought I had on the production side of it. I mean, it really. I mean, it was a great movie. There's not a whole lot to complain about. I mean, okay. What do you think George Lucas would have done differently with that movie?
I don't know.
Probably added in a whole bunch of more CGI characters. It. He probably would have put in a real goofy CGI character.
Yeah.
I
To
mean, this is
replace all of our favorite characters, Jar Jar
yeah,
Binks.
because you know that he said that Jar Jar Binks is his favorite character, right?
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, okay. Keep in mind he made that character. That's the thing I think a lot of people kind of forget about George Lucas. He made the prequels. Like he made those. I mean,
yeah,
there's
but
plenty of
he
people who
also.
remember them, but remember that. But there's a lot of people who are like, George Lucas is such a genius for making the original Star Wars movies. But most of it was it was kind of A, luck, and B, he had a lot of help on those movies. Like it was not at all him alone in a studio making what he wanted, purely what he wanted to make, which can be seen by the fact that he made the remastered versions of the movie with all the weird special CGI effects. They look horrible afterwards and change certain scenes and stuff like making it so that Han didn't shoot first or whatever. And yeah,
Hmm.
what were you going to say though?
I wasn't going to say anything.
No, I thought you were going to say something. Um, what do you think we would have done differently? Is there anything in particular you think that he would have definitely changed?
Uh,
I don't feel like he would have had a female be the main character.
yeah.
I don't feel. I'm not necessarily saying that's something bad towards George Lucas. I don't feel though like he's that kind of like he would go that far. I think he would be like that's too. Like that's changing what Star Wars is too much.
Yeah.
Like okay, Star Wars in many ways is a classic tale. Like it's not like it's the idea of a band of heroes going on a quest to stop an evil emperor, and they have to like there have been tons of stories like that. Like Robin Hood is kind of like that, or what else? What else is kind of like Star Wars? I suppose Lord of the Rings in
Uh,
many ways. If you think
I
about it.
was I was gonna say something, but people are gonna like absolutely despise me.
No, no, no. Say it. Say it. Say it. I won't despise you.
Uh, Star Trek.
How do you? In what way do you think it's like Star Trek? The story is similar to Star
I
Trek.
don't like it. Just
There, I will say though that because Star Trek came first, I feel like obviously there were some maybe some tiny influences. Like there surely must have been at least on like the spaceship's design maybe or something like that. Maybe there
Mhm.
was a little bit of. I don't necessarily know that there was. I think that maybe it's a bit of a stretch to say that Star Trek was, you know, it gave some inspiration to Star Wars, but who knows? I mean, I'm not George Lucas, so I can't really say. But I think definitely he would have. I think honestly though, he would have had many more CGI characters. I don't think he would have done as many
yeah,
practical effects as because I mean that's one reason though that I love the new Star Wars movies, how many practical effects it uses. Um, because here's the thing about practical effects. Practical effects keep a movie timeless because then it's like it'll always look like that. Like it doesn't get dated. You know what I mean? Like CGI will always change and look better. Did you just leave?
nope.
Okay.
Or just closing my door.
Oh, okay. But you know what I mean? Like that's practical effects are always better just because they don't get dated nearly as fast as CGI would.
Yeah,
Like okay, for instance, if you go watch the CGI from the prequels, that stuff was supposed to be top notch, cutting edge. And if you go look at it now, it looks like garbage, pretty much. I mean, it
yeah. I
really
see what you mean.
does. I mean, look at Jar Jar Binks. Like Jar Jar Binks looks pretty good still, but most of like the other stuff looks like
Bad.
you can tell it was made in like 2001. You know, like in the early 2000s.
Hmm.
And I'm sure movies like maybe something like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes will probably look dated in 30 years.
I hate that song. I no.
That
I didn't mean
song.
to say song. I was looking at someone.
You
Something.
say
Okay. Uh, okay. Let me just.
you're gonna rant now, aren't you?
No, I'm not gonna rant. I'm just gonna try to get my English. Okay. So, I was looking at something, and I did not mean to say song. Okay, what do you say before I said I hate that song? What do you say?
I said that like the CGI in the prequels looks like garbage kind of now. And what were you going to say? I think I said something about Jar
Oh
Jar
yeah,
Binks
you said
looks. Oh
something
no no
about
no no no
you
Dawn.
said something. Yeah, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I hate that movie series.
Really?
Yes,
The new one with
all of them.
Andy Serkis
Yes,
playing
all of
Caesar.
them.
But
All of
okay,
them.
now let me ask you this though: what is it? The story or is it the? I mean, you got to admit though the effects look amazing. Like they look like real apes almost.
Yeah.
I mean, no one can deny that. But is your problem just the fact that it's an about a movie about apes ruling the world?
Yeah, and the fact
Okay,
that the fact that some people think that that movie is actually scary.
really?
Yes,
I mean,
I've met people. I have met people who think that those movies are scary.
now I gotta say this: if it was actually in the case of, I can see. I don't think it's like scary. I just think it's like one of those things. Like I would put it in the same category as though are zombies really scary? Like I would. It's kind
Only
of
scary in numbers.
yeah, it kind of is. But I think the idea that sort of made Planet of the Apes sort of, and I'll quote in quotes, scary, is that the idea of that there were mass numbers of them and they were very smart. Like they were smarter than humans, so they could think of. You're like, okay, have you seen the first Planet of the Apes movie?
No.
Okay, not the original one. I'm talking like the remake one that came out a couple years ago.
No.
Okay. Well, in that movie, there's a scene where did you see the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes? Then is that the
Yes.
one that you saw? Well, okay. In the first one, there's a scene where they're going to confront the not the military, but like it might be it's either the National Guard or like the SWAT team or something on the Golden Gate Bridge. I think it's the Golden Gate Bridge, and so the military is like okay, and it's all foggy for some reason, and so the police are like okay, relax, it's a bunch of monkeys, like we can handle this. I mean, it's easy. It's literally
Rip.
monkeys, and so what they don't realize is that all the apes. I'm sorry, not monkeys, apes are not
Caesar
people.
will like actually kill you
People
because
get
you
really
said
mad when you say that when they call them monkeys. But anyway, what they don't realize is that Caesar has come up with a big plan where they're going to climb underneath the Golden Gate Bridge because they're apes and go under it and then sneak up behind them. And so then a couple of them, a small squad of apes attacks the police, and then they're like, "Oh my gosh, the apes are coming in from behind! Shoot them, man!" Well, then I think that this is what happens. That the apes manage to get horses, and they ride their main army with horses on
that's dumb.
horseback. They ride them into the main army. Well, I mean, it makes sense, but it's like I think that's what sort of makes it
Nope.
scary that they
I
are.
I don't like it.
I think that's. I mean, I'm not saying it's anything wrong. I think it's just the fact that you just don't like the idea of it. I'm not necessarily. I think it's that you don't like the. It's not that you don't like the movie. It's the fact that you don't like the concept of apes taking over the world and being better than humans. I think that's what you don't like more. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Um, gosh. But anyway, anything else about George Lucas that you think he would have changed about the Star Wars movies?
And nothing really.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that he would have changed the plot significantly. I mean, it would have been a totally different story. Like, it would have been something like, oh, guess what? Luke Skywalker. Yeah, he's the bad guy in this.
Yeah.
You know, like
And
he's
and
actually
uh and
he's Kyle.
Ray is his daughter.
Yep. That's exactly right, my boy. That's exactly what's happening. You just guessed the entire plot of the new Star Wars movie.
Oh,
Congratulations.
really?
Would you like this? Would you like
And
this
Luke
actual?
dies.
Yeah. Would you,
I
that's
bet.
oh gosh, you just spoiled the entire movie for the world now. Would you like this actual lightsaber that I had made with my billions of dollars? Would you like it? Here you go. Here you go. I'm George Lucas, by the way. Would you also like a free R2D2? I have like a million of them at my
I'd actually
luxury
want a
mansion.
BB-8.
A BB-8 would be so awesome.
That'd be so adorable.
It's
Also.
yeah, because it's an actual ball, like it's a moving ball. I love the line in the Star Wars movie, the new Star Wars movie, where Han Solo's walking through the hall, going out of the cockpit, and BB-8's in front of the doorway, and he says, "Move, ball." And he just moves out of the way. Okay, we've been talking long enough. Now we're just talking about how we love Star Wars. Anyway, everybody, thank you for watching. I am Teddy Jenkins, and with me is my co-host, the not so loved Cynthia Hicks.
Uh,
Thank you. Goodbye.